What's up, everybody? We're back for the Daytona 500. This is the biggest race of the year. I'm so excited to watch this race. I'm so excited to play DFS for this race. And I know you guys are so excited to be here to watch this video to get all the best information for the NASCAR race at Daytona this week. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me grow. If you want to get more of my content, go check out the Patreon. I'll put the link down below. It's only $10 a month, and you are going to get this spreadsheet you see here, but you see the 4 tabs down there at the bottom. You're also going to get those. The first one's stats and projections. That's where you're going to get pretty much every single stat for every race that you need to know. With all these stats you see here, with more of them basically, including team stats, you're also going to get projections, what every driver needs to get to hit value, and what I have them projected for every single race. You're also going to get all the past optimal lineups for every single race, and then the average optimal lineups is like where I kind of average out for this track, the track we're at, and the type of track, what we're trying to expect from an optimal lineup, what we think it's going to look like at the end of every single race. And then I also have joined America DFS as their content creator in their Discord right now, so be sure, I'll put the link down below for that Discord. It's just pretty much a bunch of people discussing NASCAR DFS. You guys should go check that out down there below. I'll be over there answering any sort of questions that you guys have. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at @NateLane_, where I will also be answering questions if you have any of those as well. I think that's really all I got to say on that. Let's get into the video. But before I do that, I also need to tell you, if you do not know strategy for Daytona or Talladega, which this race is at Daytona, the plate tracks, you can go check out my Daytona 500, DFS strategy video. I'll link that as well in this. That's where I'm going to go over all the strategies that you need to know to make lineups for Daytona, because Daytona and Talladega, the lineup construction is going to be completely different. So be sure to go check that out. But basically, it's pretty much just stacked in the back. So what that means is you need to make lineups with players that are or drivers that start all the way in the back. I don't really care about salary. You're going to hear me say that a bunch of times. I don't care about salary this race. Not at all. Salary's out the window. If you're leaving $10,000 left over, good. That's what optimal lineup's going to look like at the end of this race. There's going to be wrecks. There's going to be carnage. There's going to be chaos. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be drivers that are ending up in the wall, maybe upside down. We're going to see what happens. But yeah, let's start out with, I sorted these by starting position because that's really important in my opinion for this race. Alex Bowman's on the pole. I don't want to play Alex Bowman this week. That's as simple as that. He only has place to go down. He can only go down. And the only way he is paying off his salary is if he leads a ton of laps and finishes inside top 5, or he wins this race. He has 13th best odds to win this race. Not bad. It's Daytona. Anybody can win, but I'll bank on the guy on the pole not winning this race. I'm probably not going to play any Alex Bowman. As much as I love the guy, and I'll probably be placing a bet on him to win anyway, I don't want to play him in DFS. He only can go down. He is the lowest floor of anybody in this race, in my opinion, and I do not want to play him at all. Same thing really goes for William Byram. At $9,000, I mean, once again, salaries, don't care. Like, I'm just throwing salaries out the window. Don't even care about salaries for this race. But William Byram starts second. He won Daytona, the spring or the fall race last year. I guess it actually was in the summer. Summer race last year at Daytona. He's good at these play tracks. Now, he did crash in his duel yesterday, so he is going to a backup car. He will start in the rear. Once again, William Byram pretty much can only go down from here. The only way he's really paying off your salary is if he wins. Look, if you're playing GPPs, I'm going to want probably one of these guys in this top 12 range in my lineup. And Byron's a fine one. I think all these guys are fine. Like, literally all of them are fine. Just pick your poison, go with what you want. Byron wouldn't be the guy I'd probably go to just because he's starting second. Eric Almirola almost won the 500 a few years ago. He starts third today, or on Sunday. He is going to be someone that he starts too high. I don't want to get there. He's a good plate racer. He can win this race for sure, but for the most part, I don't want to get there. It's going to be all the guys that start in the back. Eric Almirola or Austin Dillon starts fourth. He's fine as well if you want to get there. I mean, he won the Daytona 500 a few years ago. He's shown speed at plate tracks in the past. But still, he just starts up way too high. Again, one of these guys in his top 12 is fine. But Austin Dillon, I mean, he's a fine option. I just don't want to get more than one of any of these guys inside of it. Christopher Bell, I think he's fine as well. In that 20 car for Joe Gibbs, he looked pretty good in the duel the other day. Almost won it. I think he's a fine option as well if you want to get there. But, I mean, still, for the most part, not going to be a core option. If you're playing cash, these top 12 drivers, don't play any of them. Just don't play any of them. X amount of your pool. Yeah, Chase Elliott, he's in the top 12. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. Those guys look like great options. Don't play them. This is not the place to play them. They don't have as high of a ceiling as some of the other guys in the back, and they have a much lower floor. So those are not going to be the guys I want to get to in cash. But in tournaments, yeah, you can play one of these guys. Bubba Wallace, that car's looked really fast. He's racing for 2311 Racing this week. or this year, which is honestly just a Joe Gibbs Racing number 5 car. It's going to be fast this year. We're going to have to get used to Bubba Wallace being a fast car this year. Start 6th. If you want to play him, fine. He's looked fast all weekend. Wouldn't be shocked if he won this race. Ryan Newman, I probably don't want to play starting 7th. Like, he's the one guy I just don't think really pays off. Because, more than likely, one of these guys inside the top 12 for him to pay off is going to have to win this race, lead a bunch of laps. I don't think Ryan Newman can do either of those, so I'm not really interested in that at all. I think Ryan Newman is probably someone I'm just going to X out of my player pool immediately. Kevin Harvick can totally win this race. If you want him to be your guy in that top 12, fine by me. I think that's a good play. He's got upside. He can win this race. He has won this race before. I wouldn't be surprised if he does again. Joey Logano, same thing. Great plate racer, one of the best in NASCAR, if not the best. I guess Denny Hamlin's the best, but Joey Logano's a close second in my opinion. Didn't win one last year, but he's won this race before. We've seen him win Talladega plenty of times. He starts 9th. I think he's great as well. If you want him to be your one guy. Kyle Busch, starting 10th. Again, he's fine if you want him to be your guy. Kyle Busch never won this race, but I swear that guy's always up front, and he either just finishes close up to the front, or he ends up having some engine issues, or like last year he had engine issues. I think Kyle Busch is going to win that race last year. I think Kyle Busch had the best car in the 500 last year, but that's just unfortunate. He'll get his win here eventually, so maybe this is the day. Ryan Preece, I'm probably not going to play him. Now look, Ryan Preece has had a lot of success at plate tracks in his career, but he starts 11th. I don't think he has that much of a ceiling. I think he's very less likely to win this race than one of these other guys. So Ryan Preece, probably not someone I'm going to get to. I'd rather play guys that just start farther in the back. If I'm playing guys that are starting up towards the front, if I'm playing the one guy in my line, I'm making sure it's a good driver. I'm going to play a guy I think can win the race. I think Joey Logano, I think Kyle Busch, I think Kevin Harvick, I think Eric Almirola, I think Austin Dillon, honestly, Byron and Bowman too. I think those guys can win this race. I don't think Ryan Preece wins this race. He can. If he wins it, am I going to be that surprised? No, because it's Daytona, but I would take odds on any of these other guys out here winning before Ryan Preece. Chase Elliott starting 12th. Look, he's fine for me. He has a decent enough floor. I think he can win this race. Chase Elliott, I'd be fine with that. Now the next group, I guess I'll rank these guys. If I were playing them. I'm probably not playing a lot of these guys. I'm probably at most putting one of these guys in a lineup. No more than one, that's for sure. Don't do that. Do not play more than one of these guys in a lineup. But honestly, if you don't want to put one in the lineup, fine by me. You have a higher floor for sure. Maybe not as different. You're probably going to be coming very close to or duplicating other people's lineups, but still for the most part, it's fine in my opinion and great in my opinion. It's just the only guys in the back. Great. Who cares about salary? If you have one spot left and you have to choose between $10,300 Chase Elliott starting 12th, or you're choosing between Eric Jones at $7,300 starting 31st, pick Eric Jones. Do it 100% of the time. That's just the strategy for this race. I don't care if you have a ton of salary left over. I don't care. That's not a problem at this race. The optimal lineup will not have a lot of salary in that. It will have a lot left over. So do not be scared to do that. Anyway, if I'm ranking these guys, one's going to be Chase Elliott just because he starts 12th. 2 is going to be Logano. I think 3 will be Harvick. 4 is going to be Kyle Busch. 5 is honestly going to be Ryan Preece. Then I'm going to go Almirola at 6, Dillon at 7, Bubba 8. I'd say Christopher Bell 9, Byron 10, Bowman 11, and Newman 12. I don't want to play Ryan Newman. Next group that I talked about in my strategy video was 13 to 25. These are the groups I like to make. Now, look, you can make your groups any way you want. If you want to do the first half of the field, 1 through 20, and the second half of the field, 21 through 40, fine. I like to do 3. That's just how I like to do things. I don't think there's any one wrong way. But the next group I do is 13 to 25. This is kind of just your mid-range. And I like to get at least probably one of these guys in the lineup. And honestly, some lineups I'm going to have 2. I probably won't ever get 3, though. So I'd say 1 or 2 of these guys in every single lineup is how I would go about it. Again, not if you're playing cash. If you're playing cash, try to get guys more in the back, especially more in the back end of this group, of this tier. So Kyle Larson's going to be the first guy we're going to talk about. Look, Larson's never won at one of these plate tracks in the Cup Series. I think he won Daytona Xfinity Series one time. He's 8,500. I don't care about salary. He starts 13th. I think he definitely has potential to win this race. It'd probably be a pretty interesting story if he won his first race of Hendrick in Daytona 500. I think he's a fine play. Ryan Blaney is a great plate racer. We know what that is. He finished second Daytona 500 last year, won Talladega race last year. I think he's almost won the 500 twice actually in his career. Maybe he wins it this year. He starts 14th. I think he can get up in front and lead laps. I think he can win this race. He's fine from the 14th spot if you want to play him as one of your 2 guys in this range. Daniel Suarez, or only one guy in this range if you want. Suarez starting 15th. I liked Suarez coming in to the weekend. I thought he'd start farther back, but this one's a tough one. He's never been good at Daytona, but I'm not really too worried about that. That 99 cars looked fast this weekend. I don't think anyone's going to play Daniel Suarez here starting 15th just because he's Daniel Suarez and he's not starting too far back, which is going to make him an interesting contrarian play. If he can get up there and compete for this win, he's going to be an interesting play. I probably won't have a ton of exposure to him, but I will get some. Corey LaJoie, I'm not all that interested in him. I would have been interested in Corey LaJoie if he was starting like dead last, like we usually see him doing. But now he's starting 16th, and he's Inspire equipment. It's just not like even last year. I mean, he didn't move up in equipment from last year from Go Fast Race and Inspire. At anything, it was a lateral move. It could have been a demotion. I don't know, but I don't think this car is really that fast. He ended up having a good finish in the duel last night, so that helps him get starting up there. But I don't really think that this is a guy that can contend for a win. Again, in this range, I kind of want drivers that are going to be up there towards the front for sure, like going to be running up there, and I don't think Corey LaJoie is one of those guys who will be. Michael McDowell, though, yeah, he's in the Front Row Motorsports 34, but I'm fine with him in this range. I mean, we've seen him have good runs at super speedways before. He's had very good runs at Daytona and Talladega, almost won Talladega, actually pushed the guy we're going to talk about in a second, David Reagan, to a win a few years ago at Talladega. That might be more than a few years ago now, wow. But Michael McDowell, he starts 17th. I think he has upside too. I mean, he can win this race. I wouldn't be that surprised if Michael McDowell won. So at 6,300, I don't care about salary. Starting 17th, I think he's a fine option in that mid-range as someone I want to target. Same thing with his teammate David Reagan. Reagan, I mean, he's won race at Daytona, he's won a race at Talladega in his career. He knows how to do these. He knows how to race these tracks. I think he finished 4th last year in a 500. He ran only a 500. He had a great run there. He knows how to get up front. I think he's a great play. Jamie McMurray is driving a 77 car for Spire Motorsports this week. They have a sponsorship, so he's actually going to have a competitive car. McMurray's won a ton of plate races, including this race in his career. Obviously, much better equipment, but starting 19th, I think he has potential to run up front. So this is another guy that I totally like in the mid-range. I want to get to him. Kurt Busch starts 20th. He's won the Daytona 500 before. He's been a pretty solid plate racer throughout his career. Starting 20th, again, has a ton of upside to get up to the front. In this mid-range, I really like him as well as a play. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is this is where he's great at, are the plate races, starts 21st. Now, I mean, a lot of people are always scared because he's nicknamed Ricky Spinhouse or whatever, but, I mean, he's not as big of a record as people think because he still has a ride in the Cup Series. Like you got to be doing something right to still have a ride in the Cup Series, so he's not as big of a driver who crashes everybody. Now, if he crashes the field, will I be surprised? No. But if he wins his race, will I be surprised? Hell no. I mean, look, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he leads laps at these tracks. He's always competing for the front spot. And at starting 21st, I mean, he's got place differential now. Now, I can't guarantee you he's going to finish the race, but I can't guarantee anybody in this field is going to finish the race. Like, these races are just wild. There's going to be a big wreck, and literally anybody can get involved in it. Nobody's going to be safe unless you're riding 20 car lengths behind the pack. So, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. starting 21st, I think he's a great play. I like him a lot just because he is really good at these plate races. As though I'd like Chris Buescher, starting 22nd. I mean, Chris Buescher has the best average finish at Daytona in the field. I mean, this guy somehow is always up there towards the end. Now, because of that, he's probably going to end up wrecked this race. So Chris Buescher, starting 22nd. Look, I think he's a great option. I want to go there. I think he has potential to finish up high, and seems like a good mid-range play to me. Matt Benedetto almost won Talladega last year. Starts 23rd. Again, another driver who's done pretty well at plate races recently, who could get up towards the front, compete for this win at the end. I like him as a mid-range play. Brad Keselowski, he starts 24th. He's going to have a backup car. He's dropping to the back, but I'm not really too worried about that at Daytona. He's going to be someone Brad Keselowski, I feel like, gets the worst luck out of any of the top drivers at these plate tracks. I mean, gosh, he always ends up wrecked, but, I mean, he's always up towards the front. So, I mean, again, if Brad Keselowski wins the Daytona 500 on Sunday, I'm not going to be shocked. I think he has the 5th best odds for a reason. I think he's one of the best plays on the slate. That's starting 24th. And then you have the next guy, Denny Hamlin, to close out this range, who is probably going to be chalk. Denny Hamlin is going to be super chalk. So, Denny Hamlin, all week, all the media outlets, is Denny Hamlin going to win 3? Is he going to win 3 in a row? Is he going to win his 3rd straight Daytona 500? Can he do it? Can he do it? Okay, look, the Daytona 500 is half luck. Like, yeah, Denny Hamlin's a great plate racer. I'm not going to say he's not, but still, he is not he's not some like lock to win this race. Like, I don't think he has any better odds than Brad Keselowski to win this. I mean, obviously he does have better odds from Vegas, but in my opinion, I don't think Denny Hamlin is that much better of a threat to win this race than Brad Keselowski per se. Like, look, he's going to be so chalky this week, starting 25th. Everyone would have played him in the top 10 anyway. Like, there's going to be so many people who would have said, oh, Denny Hamlin starts in the top 10, I'm going to play him. But now he starts 25th, people are just going to lock him in, which is honestly making me interested towards fading him, which is crazy to say, yeah, fade Denny Hamlin at a plate race. But he has the same odds of crashing as everybody else in this field. he just got lucky last year at Daytona, Talladega, and Daytona year before, not wrecking. I mean, he just seems to have a little bit more luck than everybody else. But I'm sorry, there's no way that guy wins 3 in a row. If he wins 3 in a row at Daytona, okay, then yeah, he's the GOAT at plate racing at this point. But I don't think that happens. I mean, he has just as much odds of getting caught up in a wreck as everybody else. If you want to fade Denny Hamlin, I think you can do it. I'm not so sure I'm going to do it yet, just because he does have a lot of place differential and he does look like a good play, and he is Denny Hamlin. But he is definitely going to be one of the top 3 most popular, most owned players on this slate. And if you want to get off him, I think that's fine. Let me rank this range for you. 1's going to be Hamlin. 2's going to be Keselowski. Those are your top 2. Honestly, watch this. I'm going to go from 25th to 13th. That's your ranking. And put Corey LaJoie last. There you go. That's your ranking, because all of this is place differential. That's what you want. And those are the spots that are going, and that's what I'm going to go for. The last group we're going to talk about are your 26 and up guys, where this is the group where I want at least 3, probably 4 guys in every single lineup. Honestly, I want 4 guys, especially to Daytona 500. This is the craziest out of all the plate races. I want 4 guys starting in the back here, and 26 on back. If you only do 3, that's so risky, man. I want 4 of these guys. And if you want to go 5, if you want to go 6, if you want to make a lineup that has Kaz Grala, Austin Cindric, Eric Jones, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, Martin Truex Jr., great. I think that's a great lineup. That sounds like a fantastic lineup to me. I would want to play it. But yeah, if you want to do 5, 4, 5, or 6 of these guys, that's where I'd go. I wouldn't do anything less than that. I'm probably going to have lineups with all 3 of those combinations. I'm probably going to have lineups with 4 of these guys. I'm probably going to have lineups with 5 of these guys. I'm probably going to have lineups with 6 of these guys. That's the combinations that I want to go for. And I'm not scared to play some of these guys that aren't really known for being good. But we'll get into that. Let's start off Truex. He starts 26. Martin Truex Jr. is known for being a bad plate racer, but I'm not scared to play him this week. I mean, he starts 26. That's so much place differential upside. But the thing about Truex being known as a bad plate racer is he just always finds a way to get caught in wrecks. He's kind of like Brad Keselowski, but he's just not always leading the race. Look, he was an inch away from winning Daytona 500 3 or 4 years ago when Hamlin won. Hamlin's first Daytona 500. That was not the one on the 3 in a row thing, but Hamlin's first 500. Truex almost won that race. We saw him almost win a Daytona race when Eric Jones won a few years ago. We saw him almost win Daytona last year when Byram won. He knows how to get up there. He just has this stigma on him that's just, he's not a good plate racer. He's 9,300. I mean, I know salary doesn't matter, but they priced him at 9,300. But he's not a bad plate racer. He's just not. And starting 26, I love it. Crap. That's fun. Anyway, Martin Truex Jr., I want to play him starting 26. I think he looks like a great play. Cole Custer starting 27. Love him as well. He's in Stewart-Haas equipment. He's in the fast car. We haven't seen him have a lot of luck at the plate races so far, but he's only raced 4 of them. Not worried about him. He looks like a great play for me starting 27th. Now, like I said, I'm not really too worried about playing any of these guys that are bad or bad equipment, but I'm not going to play Joey Gase. He starts too high, starts 28th. This is going to be the one I don't want to play, just because he starts a little bit higher than some of the other ones. We'll talk about BJ McLeod and Bulicki in a minute, but Joey Gase starts too high, and I don't really want to go there. Love Tyler Reddick, 29th starting position. He's in RCR equipment, which is going to be better this year. RCR is going to be a lot better this year. They've merged engines with Rick Hendrick, so those two combined, I think both teams are going to be a lot better because of that. So I think Reddick's going to have a good year, and he showed speed at the plate races a year ago. He won a stage at Talladega. He was up in the running to win that race, and he was up in the running to win the last Daytona race of the year before he wrecked the whole field. So Reddick knows how to get up there and race these tracks. I think Tyler Reddick looks like a great play. Chase Briscoe I'm a little bit worried about because, I talked about this in the dual race, how I kind of just wanted to wait and see on Briscoe if he was actually going to be someone who could be a real contender in this race, because I wasn't sure how he was, this being his first time in this car, in this series at Daytona. That's a little bit scary. He wrecked yesterday, but he starts 30th, so I'm not really too worried about it. I think he'll be fine. If he gets wrecked, he gets wrecked. But again, everyone has the same odds to get wrecked. He starts 30th. He has a lot of place differential upside. Love it. Eric Jones, I think he's my favorite one. Kaz Grala, he's and Cinch are going to be my favorite too. But Eric Jones, man, $7,300. He starts in the back. A ton of place differential upside, and this guy's really good at plate tracks. He's won Daytona before. He came in second at both, or I don't know if he came in exactly second. He came up. He was in the room. He almost won both both Talladega races. He almost won both those races, and he was in the running at Daytona before Reddick wrecked the whole field. This guy's a great plate racer. Now, look, he's not in the number 20 car anymore, but I don't really care. It's a plate track. We've seen the 43 of Bubba Wallace. He almost won the 500 a few years ago. So, Eric Jones, I'm not worried about that. I think he's a great play, starting 31st at $7,300. Great play. Derek Cope, look, it's Derek Cope. Derek Cope hasn't raced in, 4 or 5 years? I don't know why he's racing. I think it's ridiculous that he's in this race and Ty Dillon's not, but that's a whole nother story, a whole nother issue. I don't want to play him starting 32nd. If he started 40th, I would have maybe considered it, but starting 32nd, no, I'm going to pass. I mean, he's going to wreck, man. Like, he just is. I'm not Derek Cope, no. Quinn Houff, you want to play him, play him. No one's going to play Quinn Houff. He's going to be super low and starts 33rd. If he avoids the wrecks, he's going to be a great play. He's going to end up in the top 20, top 15, and at $4,500, it's going to be a huge value. I know I don't care about salary, but that can end up being a good play. I'm interested in him. Ross Chastain starts 34th. Now, if anyone's wrecking the field tomorrow, it's going to be Ross Chastain, but starts 34th. He has a ton of place for commercial upside. He's in a good car and Chip Ganassi Racing. I'm fine going there. Cody Ware starts 35th. You want to play Cody Ware? Fine. He's the same play as Quinn Houff, in my opinion. Starts 2 spots farther back. I don't think he's a bad play. I don't think these guys are bad plays. We've seen these guys end up doing very well at the play tracks because they avoid the wrecks and everyone else wrecks. So I'm really, really not interested in playing Cody Ware at all. Or I'm not against playing Cody Ware at all. If you want to get there, you want to get there. I don't always usually get these guys. I sometimes will, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, nobody's going to play him. That's the thing. Like, everyone's going to play Austin Cindric and Kaz Crawley. Everybody's going to play Ross Chastain. Nobody's going to play Cody Ware, Anthony Alfredo, Josh Bilicki. No one's playing those guys. And I mean, if they avoid the wrecks like everybody else, they're going to be fine as well. So I don't hate it if they're a very, very contrarian play, and they're probably have more times than not they're not going to be in the optimal lineup. That's why they're not going to be played as much. But they could still have that % chance to hit it. So I don't hate it. Anthony Alfredo is not a bad play. Anthony Alfredo he's in Front Row Motorsports equipment. He's driving a Front Row Motorsports car. Yeah, it's the same thing as Chase Briscoe, his first time in his car. So I'm a little kind of worried about that, but starts 36, man. Starts 36. He's in, and I don't know if people are going to play him because he's Anthony Alfredo, but he's in better equipment than all these Rick Ware racing cars, and he might get around similar ownership, so I'm going to play Anthony Alfredo a ton. Love the play. Josh Bilicki starts 37th. He can pretty much only go up. Cool with that. BJ McLeod, I don't think this car is going to be that bad. This car is going the BJ McLeod Motorsports cars, or I think it's Live Fast Racing, that's owned by BJ McLeod. They're not going to be like what we've seen McLeod for the past few years. Now, they're not going to be good. Like, give me straight, they're not going to be good. But they're not going to be, last place every week. I think they're a little bit better than the Rick Ware racing cars. So this is an interesting play that nobody's going to be on. If I were choosing between any of the Rick Ware cars, which, by the way, the Rick Ware cars are Gase, Cope, Ware, Bilicki, and then BJ McLeod's not. But if you throw BJ McLeod in that group, I'm picking BJ McLeod every time here. I don't hate that play at all. And then the last two guys, which are probably going to be super chalky, are Austin Cindric and Kaz Grala. They both race their way in, and they're both in great equipment. Cindric's in Penske Racing equipment, starts 39th. Look, love that play. I'm probably locking in both these guys every lineup. If I'm making just one lineup, I'm locking in both these guys to start. Kaz Grala's racing for Colleague Racing, but that's pretty much an RCR car, Richard Childress racing car, so that's a good equipment as well. And Kaz Grala and Cindric have both done well at super speedways in the past. Grala's won in the truck series. I think both these are great plays, so I would love both of those as well. Look, that's really all I got to say on individual plays. If you have more questions for me, go hit up that Discord. Go follow me on Twitter. You can even ask them in the comments if you want, but I'm more likely to answer on Twitter or in the Discord. I don't always come and respond to comments on here, or I'll be very, very late. If you want to get more about the lineup strategy, go hit up that Daytona 500 strategy video that I posted 2 days ago as well. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe on this channel. It really helps me grow. If you want to get that Patreon content, go hit that link down below as well. So, yeah, that's really all I got. Good luck today, or Monday, I guess. Make sure to just stack the back. Don't play a ton of guys up front because you have salary left over. Don't do it. Just stick with it. Don't be scared to leave salary on the table. It's going to be uncomfortable, but don't be scared to do it. But, yeah, that's really all I got. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be sure to check out... Oh, I forgot to say it at the beginning of the video. Dang it. Okay, so if you're watching this before the truck race on Friday, I will be doing a truck race live stream at 5:15 tonight. To discuss that one. And then Saturday, if you're watching this before the Saturday Xfinity race, I'll be doing a live stream at 12 o'clock or at lunchtime, 12 p.m. to discuss the Xfinity Series race. So be sure to have a great rest of your day. Let's make some money this weekend. Good luck.